All Summer in a Day. Brief biography of Ray Bradbury. From his earliest years, Ray Bradbury was inspired by the intrusion of fantasy into everyday life. As a child, he avidly read horror stories, collected early science fiction magazines, and attended magic shows. High school marked the end of his formal education, but by that time, Bradbury had already established himself as a talented short story writer. In the prolific years to come, Bradbury wrote celebrated novels, including Fahrenheit 451, as well as hundreds of short stories, some of which were collected in the Martian Chronicles in 1950 and The Illustrated Man in 1951. Though many of his works include futuristic settings and imagined technologies, Bradbury resisted categorization. As a science fiction writer, he maintained that his works were more like myths about human nature than speculative fiction. Indeed, many of his short stories use fantastic settings or futuristic technology as tools for exploring timeless themes like nostalgia, censorship, or anxiety about the future. When he died at 91, Bradbury was regarded as one of the most prominent science fiction writers of his time.
Historical context. During Ray Bradbury's childhood in Waukegan, Illinois, which later served as the inspiration for Bradbury's fictional Greentown, the small frontier town, like many in 1920s America, underwent a significant transformation. The arrival of new, industrialized technology like mass transit seemed to erase the old character of the quaint semi-rural town. This kind of rapid modernization, which rearranged communities and signaled a further remove from life close to nature, was a source of anxiety for many writers of Bradbury's era. Similarly, the 1950s were an era of rapid suburban development that made it easier than ever for people to live surrounded by modern conveniences, but far removed from nature. The end of World War II and beginning of the Cold War also brought significant advances in rocket science. Rockets had great potential for use and misuse as both weapons and tools of exploration. The possibility of space travel was closer than ever before, as was the specter of a nuclear conflict that could drive humans into underground shelters.
Key facts. Full title: All Summer in a Day. When published, March 1954. Literary period: post-war/science fiction. Genre: science fiction. Setting: a classroom on the planet Venus. Climax: the sun comes out while Margot is locked inside a closet. Antagonist: William and classmates. Point of view: third person.